Welcome to Wellness Rebranded.
We know there's so much conflicting health and fitness advice out there.
And you're tired of the senseless and toxic diet culture noise.
You're ready to tune into your body, feel empowered around food, and focus on your true health and well-being.
Welcome to the Wellness Rebranded podcast.
We're the healing trio of your health and wellness anti-diet dreams. I'm Tara, personal trainer.
I'm Elizabeth, registered dietitian and certified intuitive eating counselor.
And I'm Maura, licensed clinical social worker.
Together, we're pushing back on diet culture, hustle culture, and toxic positivity to help you practice genuine health-promoting self-care.
So grab your water bottle,
forget the rules,
and let's start rebranding your wellness journey.
Welcome back to another episode of Wellness Rebranded. If you are like me and have ever noticed that inner critic come up when it comes to making sure you get all the exercise in around the holidays, this episode is for you. Keep listening.
So you guys probably know that from Thanksgiving to New Year's is like a really busy time.
Understatement of the year.
What are you guys talking about? Totally free.
Plenty of time. So I like to think about all the things that happen during that time period, right? We've got Thanksgiving. If you're a shopper, you've got Black Friday. A ton of people, myself included, have birthdays in December. There's all the Christmas parties, the holiday get-togethers. There's the actual holiday itself. And then, of course, you go right into New Year's and whatever you've got planned for that. And then after the New Year's, you kind of have this like New Year's hangover, not literally, but like you're
sometimes,
maybe sometimes you're kind of like winding down from all the excitement. So it's really the second week in January where you kind of finally get back in your vibe a little bit. The number one question I get around the New Year's is, what can I do to stay in my fitness routine? Because with the holidays coming up, I feel like I'm going to fall off the wagon. And of course, I'm going to be eating all the things, which, by the way, you have full permission to do.
Thank you, Tara.
But also, I want to point out that you don't have to stay in your routine. For some people, it's really important to maintain that consistency. For whatever reason, it just works better for them. And consistency is important. But I don't want people missing out on all of the festivities and the fun stuff that comes with the season because they're so glued to their workout routine that they can't improvise a little bit.
I'm thinking of a topic that we've talked about in a lot of our episodes. It's just, it comes down to flexibility.
Yeah.
Like maybe it's okay to not have super rigid rules around when you exercise.
Yes. There shouldn't be a ton of rules with exercise other than like don't be a creeper in the gym and things like that, right?
That's a good one.
Yes.
But especially around the holidays, I really like to incorporate holiday stuff into my workout routine.
Ooh, like how?
So one of my favorite things is walking around the neighborhood, looking at like the lights. Of course, do this safely, right? Wear your reflective gear, whatever. We don't want any tragedies over the holidays. But my neighborhood goes like all out on Christmas and people have crazy lights. The guy who bought like the 20-foot skeleton has it like hanging lights off the roof line of his house. You can't use that for just one holiday. Also, where do you store it? So there's all these inflatable things. This is especially good for people with kids. And we kind of make it into like a scavenger hunt. Like, who can find the snowman? Who can find the Santa Claus? One of my neighbors is like an amazing stand-up jet skier. And he takes a jet ski and covers it in Christmas lights and puts it on the roof of his house
Oh my goodness.
with Santa Claus driving it.
That is creative.
They go really hard, and it's fun to get some fitness in, walking around the neighborhood looking at festive things.
This reminds me of a point that we talk about a lot, which is really, I mean, it's the name of our show. Like, it's redefining wellness. It's redefining exercise. I definitely would not have considered that exercise or movement. I wouldn't have thought about it in that way at other points in my life. But yeah, it's not only is it movement, it's like fun.
Yeah. And if you feel really strongly about it, oh, is it really exercise? Like walk a little faster so you're breathing a little bit harder. But honestly, just moving and getting out there
Anytime you're
great.
moving your body is a win. That's what I share with my clients.
Absolutely. Yeah. Another thing I really like to do is there's always light shows at different parks. We have a really great one at Sandy Point here that's usually a benefit for the SPCA. And they let you take your dogs and walk through all the light structures. That's another way.
Actually.
Yeah, they have a couple of certain specific days for it. Most of the time you drive through in your car, listening to Christmas carols and all that, which is cool too.
Ice skating. That's my
Ice
favorite thing
skating
to
is
do this
another
time of
great
year.
one. Of course, any outdoor activity like sledding. I don't know if you guys, when was the last time y'all went sledding?
Ooh, it's been a while. I have no idea.
It's been a minute for me too, but the last time I went, Marcus is from Texas, right? My husband's never seen snow until he moved here. So, of course, the first time it snowed, we were like, let's go sledding. It is like hard work.
Yeah, you gotta
dragging
trot
that
up the hill.
back up the hill.
But let's be real, we're probably not going to have snow, at least here in Maryland, for Christmas.
Probably not for Christmas, but you know,
Or my
if you
birthday.
live in a snowy place,
Yes.
or in like February, you can do that here. And that totally counts, right?
Yeah.
Running up a snow-covered hill, dragging a heavy object, like is absolutely exercise.
And this is, I suppose, a trick question, but where do we get that idea that only certain types of movement count?
It's gotta
Diet
be
culture.
diet culture.
Right?
Ding, 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 ding.
Can we just like pause and reflect on that for a hot second? Of course it counts if you're moving your body.
Right.
What does count even mean?
Yeah.
Right.
Are you having fun? Is it benefiting your health and well-being? Is it enriching your life somehow? It counts.
Yep. A guideline I give a lot of people who have a hard time determining what counts or not is if you're a little bit out of breath and sweaty, it counts.
But what
Even
if
if
you're
you're
not
not out
then?
of breath and sweaty,
Yeah.
it still counts.
Thank you. Yes.
It just is a concrete guideline that you can kind of follow if you're wondering. So I love doing things like that at Christmas parties and stuff. They always have lots of fun decorations to look at. So taking a minute instead of just sitting there in your chair for the entire party and just kind of walking around, appreciating your surroundings is a great way to get a little bit more movement.
Dancing.
Dancing is a
at
really
that
good
party.
one.
That's like a great way to fit in fun movement, right?
Absolutely.
So what I
There's
hear you talking
parties.
about is making movement a little, not only more flexible, which Maura pointed out, and I think is what your whole point is, but also let it be fun.
Yeah, like movement should always be fun. And we should always be looking for ways to kind of add movement into our life, regardless of what season it is. You know, in a parking lot, at the first parking space you come to, not necessarily circling to find the front one. Just adding more steps into your day is always a good thing in terms of movement and health. I don't think you need to be crazy about it and be like, let me park a mile away and then walk.
There's a difference between having to park really far away
Yes.
because you need to get your steps in versus, ooh, what an opportunity for me to get my steps in. This is something that's really important to me.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I love that reframe.
So,
The holidays are stressful. So
yeah.
how would you encourage people to consider how they're moving in terms of it's really stressful
Yeah,
this
so
time of year?
if you are finding yourself in a place where it is like mad stressful for you and fitting in fitness is just adding to that stress, I would give yourself permission to take a step back. I think that's okay. On the flip side, I do think that exercising or moving in any kind of way is going to help relieve that stress.
Yeah.
So finding a place to fit it in is definitely recommended. But if it's at a point in your life where you are just so freaking stressed that you can't even, so take off a couple of days.
Yeah.
You're going to be all right.
Yeah, permission to rest.
Yeah. This sounds really kind.
That's like, why are we mean to ourselves?
Yeah. Ooh. Maybe we'll have to talk about that in an episode.
I can see Maura has so much she wants to say.
We really are brutal on ourselves, though.
But so if, let's say people really do want to fit in some exercise, which you've already given some great ideas, and they're looking for something maybe even a little bit different or a little bit more than that. I guess what I'm trying to ask is, would you ever counsel someone or suggest just do like 5 minutes of something before you go cook dinner, go jump rope for 5 minutes, or I don't know, whatever the thing is. But
So I do recommend people keep working out throughout the holidays because it is a great stress reliever. It's good for your body, all the reasons, right? But I don't think it's a great time to take on some massive, like, I'm going to do all the workouts and all the lifting. That's just not realistic. And if you do that, it's possible you're going to miss out on a lot of the fun festivities of the season.
yeah.
So taking the holidays to kind of look at your workout and figure out shorter ones, right? I love a Tabata party. You guys, Elizabeth knows about
I
a
do
Tabata
know.
party.
I mean, I know about Tabata.
My glutes know about the Tabata party usually.
So shameless plug for my Instagram here. On my Instagram, I post lots of little workouts that they fit in a graphic. Okay. That's how short they are. And most of them can be done in like 15 minutes or less. That is great. And most of them you don't even need any equipment for. So if you're just kind of looking for something short and sweet that you can do twice or 3 times a week during holiday season, check out my Instagram, look at the workout graphics there, and just pick a different one a few times a week. And that'll get you through the holiday season until maybe you can get a little bit more serious when you have a bit more time.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's what I'd recommend. Like, of course, if you love going to the gym, by all means, go. The gym is fun at the holiday season because it's always festive and, they usually have some workout that's themed after Thanksgiving or Christmas or something. It's just kind of different than the normal, but you definitely don't need it if it doesn't fit with your life.
And also maybe the busy, stressful holiday season is an opportunity to explore a different type of movement. Like, for example, yoga or some other mind-body type of movement that could be a little more calming, but still getting you going, right?
Great idea. Another thing that I love about the holidays is Black Friday. Most fitness studios, gyms, trainers, like dang near everybody does some sort of Black Friday promo. And a lot of times it's like an intro thing. Like, 3 sessions for $100, you can go take 3 bar classes for this price. Mm-hmm. And it kind of gets you out of your routine, which feels good. Mm-hmm. And it's good for your body. And you can try something new and you might find a community that you just really love.
Yeah.
Something you didn't even know existed or you'd heard of, but it sounded scary or,
that's such a great
you had
tip,
never
actually.
made time for
I
it.
wouldn't have thought of that.
Yeah, it's a perfect time.
I wonder if this episode is coming out before Black Friday.
Doesn't really matter because there's always next year.
Yeah. It's interesting. It always is values, right? I'm always talking about values. But one of mine is being adventurous. And I hadn't considered this as a way to tap into being adventurous, trying these new different ways of moving because it's affordable at this time of the year.
Being adventurous is one of my core values. I love trying new things and just kind of stepping outside of my comfort zone a little bit. Mm-hmm. I don't want to be too far outside, but just a little bit outside, like trying a bar class or something like that. I just think is great. Yeah. So this is a good time of year to do that.
Yeah. Speaking of values too, something else you were talking about was why don't we enjoy the holiday season? Maybe it means having to look at your fitness a little bit differently. And maybe that's okay. This is what's important to me right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that could go either way, right? It could be spending more time with my family is what's more important to me. So I'm going to walk back my fitness routines a little bit over the holidays. Or it could be actually staying active is really important to me, even when it's busy and stressful, because it manages my stress or puts me in a better mood or helps me sleep better or whatever the thing is for the person. Yeah. And therefore, I'm going to set a boundary of making sure I prioritize and fit it in.
It could go either way. Yeah. It could go either way. And both are great.
You won't hear that out in diet culture, girls.
The flexibility, the context, the values. I love it.
So this holiday season, I would like for you to try to move with kindness. I want you to try something new, and I want you to give yourself grace to move the way that you need to move. Whether that's staying on your routine or whether it's taking a step back, it's up to you.
Love it.
Love that.
Amen.
Thank you, Tara.
You're welcome.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of Wellness Rebranded. If you found this helpful, please take a moment and leave us a review and share it with your friends. If you'd like to learn more about Maura, you can find her website, mauratunny.com. To connect with Tara, find her on Instagram at Tara De Leon Fitness. To connect with me, Elizabeth, visit me at elizabethharrisnutrition.com. And while you're there, follow the link to join my Health and Healing with Intuitive Eating community on Facebook.